Damn. Here we go again. It never, ever, for once, ceases to amaze me, ever, when media outlets, politicians, and lawmakers decide to twist things on a tragic event where a bunch of people lose their lives. These useless major pieces of fracking filth went on a killing spree. But hey, these two should be held accountable for their own actions. But unfortunately, it cannot be that these guys might have had issues or were into some form of hateful ideology. But you know, it cannot be anything that would be logical. People have been killing since the freaking dawn of mankind. People have killed each other over race, over money, lands, resources, and over which religion is more peaceful, or because a religious book said so. Let us not forget that more people killed and died in the name of religion in this world. But that doesn't stop a bunch of politicians and news media and also a lot of stupid dicks on Twitter who are trying to twist things to fit their agenda. When things like this happen, there is never a logical explanation. Instead, these people sit their asses down, all these journals, sitting their asses down, acting like fracking Batman or Sherlock Holmes doing detective work. They say, let's check out what kind of stuff they were into. Because I'm sure that the music they were listening to must have driven them up the deep end to go and do something fouled up like this. Or this movie or TV show he saw made him do it. Nope. It's that tired as hell lame ass excuse, video games. I wonder now, what video game did Cain play that inspired him to kill Abel? What video game was David playing that inspired him to kill Goliath? What video game was King Richard playing that inspired him to go to the Crusades? Assassin's Creed? Or what video game the Allied forces were playing that inspired them to go to war with the Axis powers? Wolfenstein? Medal of Honor? Call of Duty? Let me tell you something. There was a lot of killing before Pong was invented. There was a lot of killing before games like Wolfenstein, GoldenEye, Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, and Battlefield ever existed. House Minority Leader or Rep. Kevin McCarthy blamed video games, not guns, for the mass shooting that killed 20 people in El Paso, Texas. So here's McCarthy on Fox News. He said, the idea that these video games dehumanize individuals to have a game of shooting individuals and others, I've always felt that was a problem for future generations and others. We watch from studies showing before what it does to individuals. When you look at these photos of how it took place, you can see the actions within video games. Also, Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick also blamed it on video games. Ay, coño. Christ almighty. Are you really that dumb? Studies have always concluded that there is no evidence to prove that violent video games create violent people. You know what creates violent people? Not being raised properly with discipline and love. Long history of being bullied, not to forget hateful ideologies. Another thing that creates violent people is religious fanaticism due to wanting to do as told by words in those sacred books like the authoritarian Old Testament. By the way, people need more than just thoughts and prayers. And one question to you people who attack gaming whenever something like this happens. Why won't you hold a fracking charity event, you morons? For the families that will not be able to afford this messed up funeral that they're going to have. For their husbands, their wives, their parents, their children, their siblings, and their friends. If it isn't freaking music, if it isn't movies, if it isn't TV shows, if it isn't hateful ideologies or something that they're reading, it's always something that they're freaking playing. That is not a freaking logical explanation. Don't freaking even tell me. Do not try to convince me that it was a freaking video game. Christ, man. Now, here's what I have to say to the families of the victims. I am truly sorry for your loss. To all these families and friends who lost a loved one, from the very bottom of my heart, I truly am. Thoughts and prayers may comfort people in some way, but it does not stop the mass shootings. The Texas governor that blamed it on video games, he blamed it both on Fortnite and Call of Duty. Right. According to his bonkers logic, he The shooters pretended that they were freaking Captain Price or freaking Soap McTavish shooting a bunch of people because the shooter thought that they were soldiers for Sakayev or al-Assad. I highly doubt that. Now, I am very fed up with this bonkers logic every time there's a horrible event like this. If you have something to say about this, comment, rate, subscribe, go for it. And like I said, people should be held accountable for their own freaking actions. I don't know what is going to be your opinion on this, but like I said, go ahead. And blaming video games as if that's going to do any good. It never did. Right. They have to be banned because it creates violence among people. And once again, that bears repeating. There is no evidence to support the study that violent video games create violence. My very first violent video game when I was 6 years old was Mortal Kombat. And I played it in the arcades when my father took me bowling. And did that video game make me go around, beat up a bunch of people, and perform all these gruesome, gory fatalities? No. Did GoldenEye 64, damn good game by the way, turn me into James Bond, a freaking super spy? No. Does Call of Duty turn me into a soldier? No. Does Grand Theft Auto turn me into a hitman for the mob? No. To blame video games for these random acts of violence is the most bonkers logic ever. And that is all I have to say. This is John of Video Games and the World. I'm out.